Ruger Max 9 on the table. This is TMP. This is a subcompact, semi-automatic 9mm pistol review to be placed in my playlist of like pistols. And as I've always said, I like doing that. I like enlarging the library of information here in TMP. I want it to be a place, a storehouse of information and entertainment where you can come and find out, no kidding, about a gun or a knife or a multi-tool or a flashlight, a voice you can trust. Paid for, by the way, by no one except TMP donors. Only TMP donors. So they bought the ammo, they bought the fuel I used to get to the place where I shot this, they bought the food. Thank you to donors. You should be one. A long-term donor, which means 2 years or more. They are the ones that make all this work. Never too late to join. Blah, blah, blah. But sincere thanks to them. So here we go with my tabletop review. And it's so funny. To this day, I really don't get a lot of gun guys, especially in the general YouTube audience. When I say I don't get, it means I don't really agree with their preferences. I think they're odd. For instance, so whatever's new, in this case it was a Ruger Max 9, they're like, oh dude, I want that gun. I'm like, well, what about this gun I reviewed? That one and that one and that one and that one and that one. They're all awesome. They're like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. The Gun Mags and other YouTube channels. Hold on, where's my cone? Paid off YouTube channels, I will add. Told me I need to go out and buy this one. Okay. Okay, go buy it. Go buy it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not slamming on the Ruger Max 9. I'm just talking about the phenomena of this. Like, whatever's new, whatever's the shiniest and brightest in the marketplace, it's like, that's what the guys want. And I've talked about this before. I just don't understand it. I'm like, and I'm going to show you some competitive options that I'll tell you right now I would prefer over the Ruger Max 9. I don't really care if they're more money. I would. And we're going to see if the Ruger Max 9 shot well. Is it reliable? Is it accurate? Is it ergonomic? We'll cover all that. Trustworthy voice. Trustworthy voice. That's why you're here. Thank you. Thank you to the donors. By the way, I'll go into post-production on a video. My videos are funner now than they've ever been. Seriously, they are. I'm entertained. When I'm in post-production, I'm like, holy crap, that was a fun review. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay. We need a sponsored, let's see, what can I get from the back? Oh, this will work. Rocket-propelled grenade for the tabletop. Here we go. How about this? An RPG coming out of the Nut and Fancy bunker inventory. You've seen it in the background. Yeah, how's this? This will be the sponsored rocket-propelled grenade. Sponsored. I really don't even know what that means. Yeah, here you go. I cannot fit this thing in. It's tremendously large. Yeah, there you go. You've seen it in the background, this sucker. It's really cool. It's really cool. Great decoration in the background. Man, I wish I had a case of RPGs. Not a case. I want 500 of them. Hey, Nut Fancy, how'd you get that RPG? It's fake. There you go. That's how I got it. That's how I got it. But man, I sure would like a real one. That would be cool. A whole bunch of them, actually. What would you do with them, Nuttin? I just have projects. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that. I have things. Maybe in the future. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, that's right. We're reviewing a gun, not an RPG here. So with this gun, by the way, swinging back to the pistol. Going to have a good time. Don't know how long it'll be. I'd probably say 28 minutes. I'm just going to guess. But I got the dude syndrome from both the general YouTube audience and also some of my donor environment. They're like, dude, you gotta review the Max 9. I'm like, I'm gonna. Trust me, I'm gonna as fast as I can. I went to Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. Round of applause for them. Wyatt, specifically, Wyatt is the owner. He and his dad own it. Wyatt's a co-owner, and so they checked this out to me. There you go. Thank you. And this is the box that it came in, and their price was $460 at the time that I checked it out. I've had it for some months. Some months I've had it. I think that's a great price. So support Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. I don't pay them. They don't pay me. Pure relationship. You should know that by now. If not, you've been in a cave. Probably with a Japanese soldier that's been there since 1944. By the way, what are you guys eating in there? Do you run out of food? It's weird. Told you we're going to have a good time. Max 9. I'm super happy to put this in the subcompact 9mm playlist. Like I say, I love putting guns in there and for your shopping experience, all that. Let's take a look at it, and I want to do what I normally do. Maybe a short discussion on philosophy of use. Not much to say on it. You guys know all that. Features, we'll go over that. Then I'll talk about how it's shot, and then finally would I buy it. Would I spend $460 or thereabouts of my hard-earned money to buy a Ruger Max 9? Which, by the way, I think of it as a not a copy, but a blend between an LC9. No, not LC9, sorry. The Ruger Security 9 and an LCP2. the Ruger Max 9 seems like a blend between those two guns. Security 9 and an LCP2. I have neither on the tabletop because I didn't want to fish them out from systems. I don't have a Security 9, by the way. I do have LCP2s, though. 2 of them. They're awesome. And they're to this day, my favorite 380 semi-automatic pistol. If you go to full auto, it's different. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just seeing if you're paying attention. Yeah, they're just my favorite subcompact 380s. I keep promoting them. I'm not going to do it in this video. It gets ridiculous. At quick glance, you might say, well, it looks kind of like an enlarged LCP2, and you can think of it however you want. We'll look at the features. I'm going to tell you about how it fits my hand, the ergonomics. It definitely qualifies as a carry pistol. It is, as we go into features, 1.02 inches in overall width. The slide I measured at 0.92 inches. The weight with an empty magazine, the 10-round magazine, not the 12, 18.6 ounces, so that's really good. They did a great job with it. Really good. So definitely a subcompact pistol. I'm going to show you, again, some competitive offerings. We'll compare them size-wise to that. It'll be interesting. Maybe you haven't seen the Max 9. You're just wondering about it. You're like, oh, I'm a Ruger fan. I love the Ruger product. And I do too, generally. Not always, generally. Generally, it's pretty good. There's some flops that Ruger's done that I don't like. Watch the reviews. I talk about it. Backing up slightly to philosophy of use. This is a gun that I would think you would carry as your primary weapon of choice with your CCW, your CCP, whatever license you have, or if you just don't want to have a license, you just want to pack a gun like that. Yeah. You have a natural right, that is God-given right, that can never be revoked, to be armed and to defend your life. There you go. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, natural right. I have a whole video on it. Look it up. It's ancient. Still feel the same way. Absolutely. Yeah, concealed carry pistol. Would I use this as a home defense pistol? No. It's too small. It doesn't have a rail. Of course you could, but I just think in my, speaking of, playlists, you'll find better options. Usually it's going to be a full size with a full pick rail on it. It's easier to shoot, more rounds if that's important to you. Something like that. Truck gun, yes. Motorcycle gun, yes. So when I carry a pistol in my tank bag of my bikes, it's going to be super light. For years and years, and actually to this day I still use a Kel-Tec PF9, and that's way lighter than this. That's like 12.5 ounces of PF9. Is it as durable as this one? No. Comfortable to shoot? No. Still awesome though, and for the application of carry gun in a tank bag, works fine. By the way, if you're on a motorcycle, job one is just running away or avoiding conflict. Actually, no matter if you're on a motorcycle or not, run away, avoid conflict. But if you can't, it's kind of good to have options, and you may need it for something other than bad guys. You may have a ravenous Sasquatch attack you. Yeah, he may try to rip your brain out of your head, and you may wish you had a 9mm on you. When I went to Crested Butte, Colorado on the KTM, I was talking in those series of videos about bear attacks and how they're super duper rare. But yeah, you know, bear country, should have a gun. Yeah, I know 9mm nothing, but better than nothing. Better than nothing. I don't know. Better than your knife, perhaps. Philosophy of use is standard. Questions. On to features. Talked about dimensions. Talked about the weight. I want to start here at the trigger. So, one thing on the Ruger Max 9, and if I say Security 9 or LCP2, I'm going to try not to. Forgive me. That I don't really like is the trigger. It's really weird because in an environment where you're on table or something, just pulling it, it seems decent, right? It does. And maybe that's too strong to say I don't like it, But when I shot this gun, and it pulls at about 5 pounds 10 ounces on my Lyman digital scale, I wasn't in love with it. It's kind of weird. It's just like, it seems way better when I'm just dry firing it here. So take that into consideration. I don't know. It's a metal trigger. I think it has kind of a far forward placement. My hands are of the large variety, and so for me, it's no problem at all pulling the trigger, but you might want to size a pistol with whoever's going to carry it. If it's for your wife, she has small hands, just check it out. We got a blade in safety, just like a Glock. Got a long pull. Let's check the brake. And here, I'm going to get specific. One thing I don't like about the trigger here is it just gets crunchy right through here. It just stacks, and I feel like it's plastic rubbing. Yeah. Is it a big deal? No, I'm just saying in the striker fired pistol, when I shoot the competition, I like it better. Oops, I let the cat out of the bag. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the trigger's decent. I wouldn't do any work on it. I would just deal with it. But the stacking, forgot to show you the reset. Let me do that. Okay, enough about the trigger. I like the high undercut here in the molding of the polymer. I like the slanted trigger guard here that has some serrations on it. So as you see me shoot it, you'll see me resting my index finger on it, and I shoot very well that way. Thank you very little. And I'm not going to change like ever. So shoot how you want. But that's how I shoot. I like squared trigger guards better, but at least there's something. There's an attempt, and at least it's not rounded. Like, I don't know, the LC9S. That one's rounded. No pick rail on this, like I mentioned in the POU blip. Do I care? Yeah, it's a hard answer, really, because I actually think making a pick rail or just molding it in is super simple. If you put like a subcompact O-light weapon light on there or a Streamlight, it'll fit, and it does well. So I guess I would side with the part that says, yeah, I kind of would like a pick rail on there. You know, then there's not one on this version. Maybe they change in the future. I don't know. Cold hammer forged 3.2-inch barrel in your Max 9. I didn't measure the wall thickness for you, and I'm not gonna. I like that it's CHF though. That's pretty impressive. You can see a steel guide rod here. Not taking it apart. One thing, by the way, I do love that it has, if you do take it apart, is it does have a captured takedown pin on. Gosh, I can't speak. Captured takedown pin in it. That's a plus. So you're not going to lose it. It just stays in. So that's kind of cool. Beveling on the forward of the slide right here. Nice serrations. Then boys and girls, this is how you do a tritium TFO sight. So tritium fiber optic sight. Notice how they enclosed it in metal. Thank you. That's how you do it. You'd never have it exposed. It's kind of in a metal cage. I love saying that. Metal cage. That's the way to do it, dudes. Yeah, and then strangely we have a completely blacked out rear sight, and I guess that's vogue now. Stay tuned. 10 years from now, they're going to say, what were you thinking? That was stupid. But it's one of the trends we're seeing now. Hey, man, just black out the rear sight. That way I can really pick out the front sight quicker. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I like a white outline. I'd rather have 2 dots there. I'll figure it out. I'm not going to misalign it. And I think that's the argument. Well, you know, if there's dots there, you can misalign it. That's bullshit. Give me some highlighting on the back. Would I change this and like fill that part in with white fingernail paint? I'm looking at it. Yeah, I probably would. I can see there's like a recessed ledge there that I could fill with paint, and I just use acetone or fingernail polish remover and clean it. Yeah, that would be cool. Then it's white outline, kind of standard that way. I really like the front sight, and actually the sights as a whole on the Ruger Max 9 are pretty good. I like a metallic, by the way, if you care. A lot of guys are like, oh my gosh, I can't have plastic sights. I just would never, ever, ever, ever do this. This is a black oxide coated pistol from my understanding. And then in case you forget, this is weird. Hey, the pistol will fire with a magazine removed. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Ruger. That's a dumb thing to have on your frame. Get rid of it. I would fill that in with black so I don't have to look at that stupid thing. God, I hate safety warnings like that. It's just obnoxious. Refer to the shooting manual before shooting this gun. Okay, thanks. Oh my gosh, rant complete. Thanks for listening. I love the serrations on this. They're really good forward and aft. I showed you those ones there. Big external extractor. All that's good. And then we have the LCP2 style of stippling, which is outstanding. I do wish, and I'm saying this more and more, that it would carry up higher. I think they don't do this so you won't like abrade your thumb. That's why they don't do it, but I would kind of like it like everywhere. Yeah, even up here. I want it over the entire surface. And if you look at custom jobs or guys that stipple their own pistols, what do? That's right. They're going the entire pistol grip. So for some reason, manufacturers now say, "I will just give you 50% stippling over the pistol grip." Okay, thanks. Thank you. It is good down here though. You'd have to experiment whether it's good for you and your hand. I'm wearing gloves, of course, show you that with gloves it will work. There is a safety on this one. They do make one, I believe, that does not have a safety, and that's called the Pro model or something like that. When I was shooting it, it wasn't a problem. We've seen this before, and the Ruger 5.7 comes to mind. You can just ignore it. They do that so it's legal in more states, maybe, I don't know, other countries that they're exporting it. And like we established in the Shield EZ review, some shooters just like it. They feel safer with a safety, especially new shooters like, I don't like that it doesn't have safety. Where's your safety? Oh, I'm so much safer. But they're new shooters, so, you know, we need to cut them some slack, and maybe they get to our level of experience one day. One day. So going back here, this is an optics ready pistol. So it's an RMS-C pattern. So it'll fit a SIG Romeo 0, J-point, maybe a Shield pattern. I forget all the ones out there. Anyways, if you want to put a red dot on it, you can. And by the way, I've been saying for a long time, like, oh man, who runs a red dot on the concealed carry pistols? I did a gear check on a TMPer and he had one. And I'm trying to think the gun he had. Was it a P365? I thought it was. And he had a freaking red dot on it. And I was like, dude, okay. I did not make fun of that at all. He had his gun. He had a sighting preference. It was a completely no-notice gear check. So there is no way he knew he was going to run into me. So thumbs up to you, bro. Watch my Patreon feed. You'll see that gear check post. He had an A. I gave him an A overall. He represented TMP Nation quite well. Here's your magazine magazine button, reversible left to right. Had no issues with it. I thought it's easily accessible. A little bit of funneling going on here. The magazines are fantastic. They really remind me of XDM magazines, which I absolutely love. So shiny metal, stainless steel. And I don't mind that. I mean, they don't need to be tactical for me in a rule. This is mostly a rule of law carry pistol. I don't care if they're shiny metal. They slide in very easily. It's cool. Here's your 10. Here's your 12. And of course, this one's a 9mm because no one apparently buys 40 anymore. I still like 40. But for carry gun, I still use 9. It's more size efficient, and I've always said that. One cool thing I really love about the Ruger Max 9 magazines is they have a huge takedown button right here. The only thing I would say, at least on this version, so this is a 12-rounder, and that one is still pretty accessible. The only thing I would say is if you dropped it and something hit that, maybe your base plate falls off. No, I didn't experience that. I'm just saying. Witness count right here, they're both going to say 10 because this is the extended floor plate model right here, and it does include a finger rest and extended stippling right here. Well done. Really nice mags. I really love the mags. You'll get 2 of them in the box of fun for your Ruger Max 9. This is what it looks like, and I rarely do this. I always forget. Oh, there's the address to Gunny's right here. Show that. Yep. Yep. I'll have it below too. There you go. Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is her display one. So I said, hey, do you have a Max 9? And he's like, yeah, I got one left in its display. I was like, can I borrow it for review? And they checked it out to me. So there you go. So there's not a lot in there. You got that pistol lock and 2 mags. But no holsters, nothing like that. I think that is mostly the features. You do have a hole back here to see the brass, or as we like to say in TMP, the shiny metal of the round loaded. Right? There you go. Oh, and by the way, these are E-nickel, not stainless steel, E-nickel. Teflon mags is what they call that. How did it shoot? Okay, I did my rant on the trigger already, and it's a mild rant, so I don't want to make a big deal about the trigger on the Max 9. Maybe there's probably a lot of reviewers that absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, where's my cone? Of course, they were probably given the gun for free from Ruger. Just saying. So, of course, they're going to love everything about the pistol. For me, I didn't love the trigger. I thought it was okay. The gun did not shoot magically for me. I had to work to get, I don't know, this kind of accuracy out of it. Have one piece of paper for you. And this is 10 yards, so I will say that is a long distance standing. You've watched the video to this point. And you see, look, plastic rub trigger. I said crunchy initially. I marked it. I was like, well, it's not really crunchy. I just didn't like the trigger. So 4 shots, up arrow on that, up arrow there. Good accuracy. Not so good there. Not for me. I mean, 10 yards, that's decent grip, but I'm like, I could do better. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, good. 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 And guess what? All the paper was like this. So it wasn't magical for me. In the competitive offerings I'm going to show you, they're kind of magical for me. Maybe you, Mr. Mrs. TMPer, interface with the Ruger Max 9 completely differently. You shoot it much better than I do. I wouldn't doubt that a bit. But for me, and I have a lot of experience on compact pistols, subcompact pistols of all types and varieties, I wasn't in love with it. Okay, overall I wasn't in love with it. It was 100% reliable. I do not recall any stoppages, jams on the Ruger Max 9. It was fantastic that way. Well done. I will classify the accuracy as good. Not excellent. I'll just say good. It's good. At 7 yards, could I make a one-hole group with this? Yeah, I would really have to work at it, though. It's not easy. Ergonomically, I was going to talk about that. How about the grip? How does it fit your hand? I like it. It just feels like it has a kind of a squarish grip. It kind of reminds me, again, of the Ruger Security 9. And I don't remember if I said that in that pistol review. I didn't find it like horrible, but I just, you know, it was okay. It's okay. It was. And the trigger, combined with the trigger, it was just okay. I left shooting it and I was like, good gun. I was like, it's a good gun. Reliable, accurate. Round count is awesome. So it's meeting the competition at 10. Actually, this one's 12 or 10 rounds. The weight's 18.6 ounces. It's a good gun. Would I buy one? You're probably going to say at this point, from what I've said, that there's no way Nothing Fancy is going to buy one. I'm really on the fence about the Ruger Max 9 of whether I'd buy it or not, because of the things I pointed out. I'm not going to go over them again. I'm on the fence. I can't really say definitively. I'm not in love with the gun. I think it's a great competition in the marketplace. I'm so glad that Ruger did it. They're copying other guns, and here comes the competitive offerings. For instance, the outstanding coming out of a Kuziak leather holster, link below. The best leather holsters ever made for inside the waistband carry. And actually, I do outside the waistband carry too, and offside. I just clip this under my belt. Offside works awesome. And this one's new, so I'm breaking it in, so it's really stiff. And here we have a flat Desert Earth P365. This thing's magical. It's magical for me, I think. I don't know what it is. It's just how I shoot it. It's just magical. P365s are still, I believe, the best-selling pistol in the entire United States of America. And I predicted that. Thank you. Yeah, I want to toot that a little bit. I said it, because when I said it, it was not. And people were way down on the P365. Had some teething problems, and people, some gun tubers were even condemning it. It's like, this thing's a piece of crap. Don't buy one. And I was like, that's bullshit. This gun's going to own the marketplace. You watch. Sig will square it away, and it's just going to run away with the market. It has. It has. Between these two guns, what would I buy? P365. All day long. It's not even a competition. I think it looks better. It fits my hand better. The trigger's way better. I like the sights better. Look, there you go. Don't have to worry about putting any fingernail polish on that. 3-dot sights. So Sig gets it. They're like, no, we're not going to go with that goofy blacked out rear sight thing that's going to last, 10 minutes, and then they're going to go back. They just did something cool. I just love 365s. They're so awesome. Great firepower. And when it came out, I used that term, game changer. I was like, these are game-changing pistols. And sure enough, we see Ruger copying the formula. This gun right here is copying this formula. Not copying the gun directly, as you can tell, obviously. Very different. But relatively the same size, relatively the same weight. Yeah, 365 all day long. How about this one? Coming out of a Galco Classic Light holster. Man, this gun is so outstanding. I still love them. Freaking Glock 43. Dudes, never get rid of your freaking Glock 43s. I carry mine all the time. As much as I love the 365, these are in rotation. I mean, obviously. So I put this under my shirt all the time. Look how beat up that holster is. Thin, easy to carry, outstanding. You can get extended base plate so it holds more rounds. Is it like a 10 or 12 rounder? No. You can do your Glock 48 with that if you want. 43X you can do. A lot of you guys have that, by the way. I was surprised. A lot of guys have 43Xs. But the 43 series as a whole is a complete win. Very accurate. Like, if I were to do that 10-yard standing thing that you saw with this gun, dude, this would dominate it with me. I just shoot it so much better than I shot this gun. I like the trigger better. Here's a squared off trigger guard. It's narrower. It's lighter. I mean, this one's coming out of a hot system, obviously. What do I have in here? Those look like 115s. 115s. I'll alternate between 115s and 124s. Plus P's sometimes. That's right. I get crazy out there. But this has, you know, it's not like the perfect pistol. It also lacks a pick rail. SIG's made an attempt, although it's a weak attempt. Not a showbreaker for me, though. It really isn't. I just love the 43. It's so outstanding. I was at my niece's place tonight, and she was like, hey, man, what pistol should I get? And I had a 43. I went through the battery of arms. She just fell in love with it. She's like, oh, I love that gun. And I had some other ones there, to include a 365. She's like, I just like that 43 best. It's a really favorite gun of the ladies. They love it. Mrs. Nut Fancy carries a 43. She loves it. Yeah. Other guns that I don't have on the table that I would consider, maybe I roll some footage in, the Shield Plus at 21 ounces, so it's heavier in a concealed carry format. That's kind of a lot. It's way more heavier at, well, 3 ounces. You know, you guys are like, it's nothing, 2.5 ounces, but I don't know, it's something. I did like the Shield Plus. I said as much in that review. I was like, that is outstanding. Just love the gun. Consider that. And sadly, the Mossberg MC1 SC 9mm at 19 ounces is just completely forgotten in the marketplace. And I don't think it deserves that. I think it's a good gun. I'm not in love with it like the Max 9. In fact, I think the Max 9, in my way of thinking, is the same gun. More or less. I think this is more reliable. I had some stoppages with the Mossberg. Go watch that review. I did. But just kind of, for me, my enthusiasm level... Yeah, I'd just spend more money. I mean, if you get something that you totally love. If you love Ruger, get a Ruger. If you don't, go with one of these two or some of the others that I reviewed. I've reviewed a lot of subcompact carry guns at this point. The interesting thing, I'll end with this, and look at that, dude. We're almost at 28 minutes. The interesting thing is this. Between this and LC9S, which would you prefer to shoot Nut and Fancy? LC9S. And I said shoot, not carry. So for carrying, I'd rather have this gun with more rounds. But LC9S, I enjoyed shooting more than the Max 9. I'll end with that. Thanks so much. I told you it's going to be a fun time. It always is. It's because of the donors. On the table, we have a deep blue Master 1000 2nd gen with a see-through case back. Link below. All the deep blue watches are fantastic. On my wrist, I have an Orient Kano, I think is how they say it, and it has a Nut and Fancy Hands mod. And yes, just for review, I have 2 watches. That's the only time I do it. Analog watches. And this is a Citizen 6838 Eco Drive. Link below. Thanks so much. We'll see ya. like it. I like it. Cool gun.